This place is special, man. When you go through the tunnel here, it's some kind of vibe you get when you roll in for the first time.
20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Dale Earnhardt will come to the caution flag to win the Daytona 500.
The 98, obviously going to victory lane there was cool. I was a kid. I didn't know what I was experiencing at the time, but I knew it was such a happy time for everybody that was involved. I love this place. I mean, it's one of those places that adrenaline is filling you up from the time you enter the gate.
That's tough. I haven't had a whole lot of good moments down here myself, but I think just being in that first one was probably the best thing, the coolest thing I've done. Outside that, a lot of wrecking and disappointments, but I think just being here for that first one and just the experience of that, and coming down here for your first Daytona 500 it's a special thing.
For myself was obviously last year. Being there at the end and just kind of making the wrong move on that last lap, coming out of 2 and dropping a few spots, but it was great missing those wrecks. But if it wasn't me personally, I would say watching Dale win his first Daytona 500. That was everybody kind of felt that little bit of special feeling that they had.
I think the obvious is obviously finished second in Daytona 500 2018, having a good run there, good speed weeks really. Don't really remember where we qualified, but finished third in the duels, got up to the front a little bit, fell back, got up to the front again, fell back, kind of like a accordion effect, but ended up coming out somewhat close to the front, almost on top, and reliving that moment is something you do kind of do every day and every race, really to bring back that excitement, that momentum. So we're definitely going to be riding that when it comes this Sunday.
Good afternoon, race fans. Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. This is take 2 for our 62nd annual Daytona 500 watch party because we got a little rained on there at the beginning. As you can see, we are underway. Right now, we are on the second lap of the Great American Race. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. currently leading Joey Logano and Eric Almirola. This is the watch party with all the drivers, and these guys need no introduction. But I'm going to do it anyway, because on the far side of the table, we've got a man that definitely you guys have maybe heard of before, Mr. Greg Biffle, here with us at the table. Of course, Greg Biffle, he drove the number 16 car for Jack Roush, and that's the picture that we all have in our heads when we think about Greg. 19 wins and 510 Cup starts in the NASCAR Cup Series. Beside me, a guy that had a very strong run in Daytona yesterday, won the second stage in his car for Junior Motorsports. Toward the end, stuff didn't work out exactly the way he wanted to, but he had a pretty good run. Also, we've got down in the pits a man that's driving the number 96 Gaunt Brothers machine here in Speed Weeks this week. Barely missed his shot to be in this race behind us. He's going to be down in the pits, hanging out and talking to the drivers, showing us all the carnage. But the guy that I want to introduce you to first is the man yesterday that picked up his first win in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. His first win in that series came here at the greatest track on earth, at the World Center of Racing. Noah Gragson got it done for Dale Earnhardt Jr. yesterday, and he got to climb the fence. He got to basically set the track on fire, and not in a way that kept us delayed for hours. It was great. So Noah, you got to tell me, how did it feel this morning when you woke up and realized, I have a Daytona trophy that I get to take home with me to North Carolina?
Yeah, it's quite the privilege to be able to race here at Daytona, and there's a lot of fans out here yesterday and today. I mean, this place is sold out. So this morning, waking up and realizing and trying to soak it all in has been the thing I've been most focused on today, is just trying to soak it all in. You don't get to win Daytona every day, so very thankful for the opportunity, and I'm ready to go next week in Vegas, try and chase another checker flag.
Greg and I both think this morning when he woke up, he was just trying to figure out where he was at.
Yeah.
Like
he was.
We both remember our first wins, and we're pretty sure he was just trying to figure out
where
he
was
was
celebrating,
at.
right? You got to celebrate a little bit, and I'm sure that's what came to your mind when you woke up this morning.
Yeah, definitely. It was a fun night. It was We'll leave it at that.
It definitely was. And so our first question was going to be, what's your favorite Daytona memory? Not necessarily just Daytona 500 memory. So that was certainly something that we were able to answer yesterday. But from all of us here at the Fox Sports Digital team, Noah, congratulations. So the new first question is one that comes in from Conrad Company. And by the way, you can ask questions too if you want. Tweet them to us at #AskTheDrivers, all right? But the first question comes in from Conrad. Thank you for that, buddy. Who's your pick to win the Daytona 500, and who do you think will lead the most laps? So that I can usually pick a winner, but that lead the most laps one is a tough one. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Stenhouse for leading the most laps. They've shown kind of all through this, whether it be in the duels or in qualifying, that they had a really strong car. I'm a little surprised on lap 7. We've already seen a ton of blocking, which I think is, a little bit surprising. They sort of single filed out now and going to the top. But I'm going to go sentimental pick. I'm going to say Jimmy gets the win. I don't know why, but I just feel like last one for him, full-time driver. I just think, he gets the nod and people try to help him out and he goes up there and gets the win. So
I like it. Noah, your pick.
I got Stenhouse on probably both of them. I like him and I've gotten to know him. So he's a cool guy to me, and he's really good at speedway racing, and he's got a fast car as well. So hopefully he can get that Chevy in victory lane.
I'm gonna go, not because I drove Ford forever, but I'm gonna go outside the Chevy camp. I think the 22 Logano is going to lead the most laps, and I think it's Eric Almirola's year. He came close. He got turned, getting into turn 3. I think that he's going to pull it off. Just my pick. The cars have shown a lot of speed here, and I want a sentimental favorite too. I'd like to see Jimmy win, but I think those Fords have a lot of speed, and Almirola's kind of showed it in the duels.
You know what's interesting about that is Almirola's kind of like what I picture Brad was like for a number of years. There's guys that you watch and they end up, when the checkered flag falls, they're either in the conversation or they were the conversation, right? Like no matter what you do, over time there's been guys that have figured it out. And obviously, if you watch my race yesterday, I'm not one of those guys, right? Like, usually I'm wadded up in a wrecker, but it's just crazy to think how many times Eric's been close or has won here for the July race, but not for this Daytona 500. So I actually would have to agree with you on that one. I think he's got a good shot on it.
All right, so we've got the picks from the desk, and as I said earlier, we do have a guy that's hanging out down in the garage area, and he's going to be showing off all of the carnage, talking with some of the NASCAR stars. Daniel Suárez, who's your pick? 500, and who leads the most laps?
Hey, amigos. My pick is actually second to last right now. Number 11. I just feel like Danny, he just knows what he has to do. He's very smart. He's aggressive when he has to be aggressive. Right now, as I was mentioning, he's running either last or second to last. So right now he's kind of chilling on a Sunday ride, but I'm sure that he's going to be strong in the second half of the race. And I wish I was playing with him, but right now I think the 11 is going to be a strong one for sure.
And so this is a bit of a unique situation, Daniel. You're probably the first co-host that I've had on a stream where I know beyond a shadow of a doubt you'd rather be doing something else right now. So how frustrated are you by the wheel in the 500?
Very frustrated, and honestly, it doesn't really hit you until you get to Sunday. It's kind of, it's a weird feeling because, we worked so hard for the last month and a half to put all these things together, to build cars, to get a strong engine, to get everything together, and to get out of the most important race of the year for someone else's mistake that's not something that you want to be involved with. But that's part of racing. We have to learn from it, move on. But definitely, you don't really process everything until you get to Sunday and you see all the cars drivers meeting introduction and stuff, and you are not in the show. So it's a pretty bad feeling. I don't wish that to anyone, but it's part of it. We have to learn from this and come back stronger.
Absolutely. So I don't know how it compares to the Daytona 500, buddy, but I promise you that this watch party is going to be a lot of fun. The trophy's not as cool at the end, but you're going to get to hang out with us. So for all of us here at the desk, thank you so much for watching. Again, this is the Daytona 500 watch party. This is a production of the Fox Sports Digital team with my friends here hanging out. That's kind of what we want this to be, is just sitting back, hanging out, talking about racing. We've all sat on the couch and watched races. It's a little bit louder than your average living room right now, but we get you close to stuff. So the next question that we had to just kind of get the ball rolling, to just kind of get the conversation going here, we did have one come in, and if producer Nick back in the truck could actually help us out and get this one on screen. We have one come in that was specifically for the two guys that work for Dale Earnhardt Jr. here on the screen. Junior Motorsports tweets, "Oh, hi, Noah and Justin, big fans. Our questions are, Justin, where did the tradition of Harper painting your playoff helmet start?" And the one for Noah, we'll come back to it, but was the Bo and Luke Duke hood slide planned? Really, was any of that planned? So we'll talk about the helmet first.
Yeah, so honestly, the helmet was kind of a fluke deal. Harper always has loved kind of being around art. I grew up being around art. I decaled my own race cars, and I actually painted a few of my helmets when I was younger to kind of get going. And so my wife wanted to do something to surprise me. The first year they kind of came out with the format, and we were in. And so she talked to my helmet painter, Greg at Off Action Paint, and said, "Hey, what do you think about trying to do this?" And he's like, "Oh, it'd be awesome. It'd be really cool, So they got together. They surprised me with it. I actually didn't know anything about it. They did all the details. And since then, it's been really cool because it's taken on kind of its own life form, and she loves doing it every year. She tells me all the time that she's got ideas for the next one. So it's really, really cool that she's kind of taken ownership of it, and that, they let her do that and be a part of it. And, it's just special, man. Anytime you can tie your family into it and watch her get excited about it, and then to go win with it. Last year we won at Phoenix with that helmet, so that was really cool. She was all pumped up about me winning her helmets. That was really special.
That's really cool too, is how much drivers now really put so much effort and thought into their helmets. I don't think that was necessarily always the case. Greg, you came into the sport. Did you really see as much attention put on helmets, or was it more race cars and paint schemes, that sort of thing?
It was more race car and paint schemes as far as I can remember. And then, all the helmets started being painted, and a friend of mine I raced with owns a paint shop in Tucson, Arizona, John Sewell, and he painted my helmets all through my truck in Xfinity days. And then, I switched when we started racing the Cup Series, another guy painting them more, closer, centrally located. But the paint schemes are really cool that they come up with for the helmets, and I have my artistic ability is absolutely zero. So
same.
Mine is about as good as my 8.5-year-old as far as color stuff with a crayon. So that's about as far as I go. But I have some really cool looking helmets on my display case.
Awesome. And so the second half of that question, Noah, was about the Dukes of Hazzard slide that we saw yesterday. Is that something you always had in the back of your mind? Like, I'm going to do that my first Xfinity win.
No, I was throwing the water bottle over the the fence, and I was like, oh, man, I'm going to go run down the car and slide across the hood. So it was one of those deals where it wasn't planned. It kind of happened.
I watched it on TV, and I'll be honest with you, I was curious there for a moment if he realized there was hood pins sticking out of the top of that thing.
Yeah.
Because all I could expect was to go across one of those hood pins the wrong way, and
Yeah.
that wouldn't be the good way to celebrate.
I get your panties hung up on that thing. I want to feel good.
Yeah, that'd be a bad deal. Thankfully, that didn't happen.
Yeah, of course. And you said yesterday, too, that you were a little inspired by a video game for your celebration yesterday, maybe with the fire side of it. You said you kind of done that, and you had always wanted to do it in real life. You were talking about that yesterday in your post-race conference.
Yeah, I would always do long burnouts on NASCAR sideline, and they were asking why my burnout was so long. And I told him because I'd always do it like that on the video games. So.
I like it. I should have added. I should have went in Photoshop and made like a Photoshop template and changed like the Jimi Hendrix fire on the guitar type image. I should have made one of those, but I could still do that next week. That might happen.
There you go.
So we are racing here at Daytona. Thank you once again so much for watching with us. We want you to be a part of the show. You can tweet your questions at #AskTheDrivers. You can also comment on the Facebook post. I'm going to be scrolling those. I'm basically your representative here. You guys are our producers. You guys are the ones that decide what we talk about. So make sure you send your questions in. But Greg and Noah, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Justin, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. still out front and seems to be pretty strong so far here today. What's something that you guys are seeing that's maybe been surprising or something that's exactly the way you thought it was going to happen?
Well, not surprising to me that the guys have gotten single file and are kind of content to just burn up some laps and stay in line right now. We see this a lot in the 500. It's a long race, but I think when the stages get closer to coming to the end, I think you're going to see some moving around. I saw a few cars, drop down and feeling out the bottom and seeing what that bottom lane's like. But right now, I'm not surprised to see them lined up in the top.
I think it's interesting too. You pointed that out. We got a caution on the racetrack actually. Not sure why we got a caution, but I don't see anybody wrecked. There was a big C-130, I think, landing in the background. That's what Noah was pointing out to me. Big military plane, cargo plane. But, it's interesting because I feel like, it's hard for a lot of times for our fans to understand why we get single file like that, right? Because everybody wants to see three-wide racing. And they want to see us packed in there. And that's fine. And and as drivers, we actually like that too. The challenge becomes the more you run that three wide and kind of all battled in there, it wears the tires out. It wears the car out. It wears, it wears the drivers out. And as Greg said, this is a long race. I mean, 500 miles, even though we have 500-mile races, we have the Coke 600, so it's obviously a lot longer. This race, though, just seems like it's forever. Forever.
Yeah, looks like it's rain.
Yeah, that was the reason for the caution.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
we may be getting we're dry now.
Right now.
Okay, so there was a 41-minute rain delay earlier, and it looks like another one is coming. So actually, we are going to go and get somewhere where it's dry. So I'm going to send my guys back around the corner. We're going to go to an aerial shot. You guys can keep up with the weather right here on the Watch With. We're not going anywhere. Stick with us. We'll come back when Daytona is dry.
Daytona International Speedway. Unfortunately, after 20 laps of thundering stock cars here in the NASCAR Cup Series of Daytona 500, a new rain shower again has come over turns 1 and 2. This is now a little drive here on the front side of the racetrack. The pole sitter, Greg Biffle Jr. He jumped out and led with 120 laps before he ran to the red flag, and with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. leading all 20 of those laps for Team Kelly, that is more laps led in the Daytona 500 for the race team, JTG40, in the entire history of JTG40's racing in the Daytona 500. I'd say that's pretty impressive.
Hey amigos, it's Daniel Suárez here, and we're here in the Daytona watch party. Fortunately, as you guys can see here on my right, this is pouring rain, so this is never good. As a race car driver, you know, you get in your zone. All you want to do, actually, is running pretty hard, but you get in your zone. You want to get in the car, do your thing, drive hard, and this is the last thing you actually want. This is the last thing that you actually want to break that momentum and to break that plan. Strategy, communication, and then you have to pretty much unstrap everything on the car and get out and do nothing for a little bit. But as you guys can see, you know, I'm here by myself, but there is a lot of fans here that are just trying to set dry. So it's never great to have rain delay. And the only time that it's actually good to have rain delay is when you are leading the race and you have maybe 20, 30 laps and you are just waiting to get a call that everything is done, everything is over, and you are the winner. But at this point, when they've been running 20 plus laps, this is the last thing you want to see. So this is the most important race of the season, and definitely, you know, it's getting wet. So, you know, hopefully we can come back to the Daytona watch party soon with my amigos over there, Noah, Greg Biffle, and all the guys over there, so we can keep having some fun. Thank you, guys.
man. So what'd you eat during the rain delay?
Well, I had a club sandwich with no turkey because they're out of turkey.
Yeah.
And I was going to get the potato salad, or I got the potato salad, but they didn't have any forks. So
Did you just scoop it?
Cashed them in for chips instead. Well, you can have chips and potato salad.
I got it. Okay.
You know, running low on a little bit of food here at Daytona.
You've won a race here. Did they charge you full price?
Yes. Yes,
Man.
I did win here. You know, it's a funny story about when I won here. Because I was just a young guy then, right? Still am. But I know it pays a lot of money to win the Daytona 500. And,
of course.
And, you know, that wasn't the first thing I thought of. But after it set in, you know, it was up all night getting the trophy and doing all this. And I'm like, man, that's got to be a huge payday. And I'll tell you what, I was so disappointed when I found out how much I got, 400, and not obviously this is the Super Bowl.
Those extra 100 miles.
Yes, that's worth a lot. The extra 100 miles is worth about $1.2 million or so,
right.
1.1 million for the extra 100 miles. So
right.
it's a big difference. But it's a cool trophy, and I'm very excited.
Thank you guys for sticking with us. We are obviously still waiting for the track to dry. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. may be working up on like a record of amount of time in one day that he's led the 500.
He's led the entire thing.
Yeah, so far.
All day long.
I feel like we've been here forever.
We have been here
and
forever.
Ricky has led it all.
Yes.
So,
and watching this track dry is sort of like watching paint dry. A little bit.
Well, I mean, I wish this doesn't dry as fast.
Yeah, the wind has calmed down a lot, but we still have a bit of a breeze, which certainly helps dry the track out. And it's looking really good. Obviously, pit road and some of the entry to pit road and stuff is still wet, which can be pretty dangerous when if somebody gets out of control and gets down there on that wet pavement, it could be, potentially a dangerous accident. So they got to get all of that dry before we go back. But the track's looking pretty good.
What do you think most of these drivers are thinking or doing? Like, how did you spend this time, driver Greg Biffle?
Now they're watching our dumbass on TV right now, probably, or
I
the
can
social
only
media
hope.
or something else.
I can only hope.
But they're back at their bus, just dragging it out. We're waiting till this thing goes back, So they're sitting close by, waiting to get back in the car and probably eating something. This is a bad time to eat because you get in the car, you run for a little bit, you go to your motorhome, you eat. You get back in the car, you run a little bit, you go to your motorhome and eat. So, if I was over there...
Does that mean, like, later on in the car you're going to have to poop?
Well, you could, but hopefully not, depending on what you're eating.
Right.
But, they're just hanging out, getting ready to go.
Right. So, if you had to make a guess, you've been through rain delays before. If you had to, what do you think? How long till we fire these bad boys back up?
We're probably I bet you we're about 30 minutes. They're going to probably call the drivers back in 20, 25 minutes to 30 minutes.
That
and then it'll probably be another 15 minutes because they're going to have to dry pit road and some of the spots. But I'm no expert, but we're probably looks like 45 minutes or so from getting back underway, I would guess.
I guarantee at least one commenter is probably going to say,
we got to see what time it is.
It's not sunny. Why are they wearing sunglasses? These lights, man, if you're not used to it, because I'm no professional broadcaster, the lights will hit you quick.
Yeah, they will. Plus, it's really bright out still. It's sunshine in here, so as the jet dryers go by. But it's looking good. I'm ready to get back going again.
And we had some fans saying, rain, rain, go away. And I don't know who it was. Was it EJ that said that? EJ, all right. So thank you so much. Continue to flood these comments in. Trust me, we're going to get to them. We're going to get back live. And Noah and Justin are they're mingling with the fans right now. That's one of the coolest things I've seen from race car drivers.
Yeah,
you guys were just
here
out there hanging out with them. That was great.
Enjoying it. Yep, hanging out with the fans. But by the way, we are live. We said we're going to get back live.
Well, we're live now.
Yeah, we're live now. I just want to let you know that.
We're gonna get back to our normal show.
Normal show? All right.
All right. Greg,
just thought I'd bust your balls a little bit.
Greg throwing shade
That's right.
already, which I don't expect any less.
Yep.
So
we're just having fun.
I owe you one, though.
Okay.
That's going to happen.
All right.
So
what about that Daytona sweatshirt you got me?
Fox got you that.
Yeah.
That wasn't me.
I have stars and stripes on it.
It looks good.
I got stars down my arms.
It looks really
good. Did you get that? You pick that out just for me?
Exactly.
Good.
I'm not joking. This is 100% how it happened. I went in.
We got Tweedledee and Tweedledum here with the junior shirts on. They look identical. They could have at least grabbed something different.
That's probably they went to there and then some PR guy had to go find them hoodies.
Right. But wait till they see mine. Wait till I break mine out later tonight.
You can't say that it is not at least different than their junior motorsports hoodies.
That's right. That's right.
What'd you think I was going to come back
at one
with?
point, I'm going to get them to change with me.
It's the Daytona gift shop. What'd you think I was coming back with? Like
probably
that's
something
all they have.
Daytona.
Exactly. That's all they got. It was that, or it was one that said "Drive like you're running shine." Okay. I think. So I didn't know. I assumed that was the safer bet.
Yeah, probably was. I know it's Purdy. That's all I know.
Everything in there was Purdy because it was NASCAR.
That's right.
So the second someone fakes a redneck accent sometimes, mine naturally comes back immediately.
I wonder, what do you think would happen if one of these guys got a stomachache or something during this rain delay? Do you think I'd be called to duty?
Race car driver?
Yeah.
Man, I hope so.
I might have to go down there and finish.
So,
Finish it up.
drivers, if you're watching and you ate too many Daytona foot-long hot dogs during this, if you're about 5 foot-long hot dogs in, and you need somebody, my boy
available.
Greg is available right now.
I am.
So, if you want, you can a lot of you I've given business cards to. You can come through me. Make sure it's okay because
You're like my agent,
I'm the
right?
host through this.
Right.
So make sure it's okay through me. So.
Okay. Well, we're 5 minutes into my 45-minute prediction, so.
We did have a question come in.
Okay.
From a crew that you might know.
Okay.
Roush Fenway tweeted, Greg, what's up? End of question. What's up? What's up, Greg? What's up, Greg?
Just hanging out, this Daytona 500 watch party, but we're watching the track dry. That's what we're watching. That's about it.
Awesome answer.
Yes.
That was great.
It is.
What'd you think about them posters that we put together?
The posters are excellent. Those things are going to be worth a lot of money someday.
Yeah?
That's going to be a historical piece.
It says on there that I was the casting director. I think that's because I picked the drivers.
Yep.
So it was CJ casting director.
All
Which I don't know why my face
I-
wasn't on it.
All I know is they're begging me to come do this.
Yeah?
Yep.
Well, yeah, they had to have somebody that was at least a little bit legitimate. Texas winner from last year. Which, by the way, don't answer it. Don't answer it yet.
Okay.
All right? We got to keep it. We got to keep
I was
everybody
one
in
and done
suspense.
with that, wasn't I?
You was.
One race.
That was so odd. You show up, hey, I'm Greg Biffle, and I'm going to kick everybody's butt and then leave. That was so great. I love that so much.
It was.
That was kind of like, basically, Michael McDowell was telling a story about Jimmy Johnson showing up when cornhole first became popular.
Oh, yeah.
He said he showed up and threw one, sinked it, and left. That is exactly what you did. You showed up, you sinked it, and you left. I'm going to see if our producers can find that. We will show that, and it'll just randomly pop up.
And my $50,000 fake briefcase full of cash that I didn't get. You got that too.
We do have that one as well.
Good. All right. Well.
So we had another question come in.
Okay.
That said, everybody asks. I think one of the most overused questions from media is, "What's your Mount Rushmore of NASCAR drivers?" That's not what I'm asking. Okay. So don't get nervous as I go through this.
All right.
I am not that basic. I promise.
Okay.
Okay. This one is, what is your amount of racing movies? Not basic.
Okay. Well, I think at the top's got to be Days of Thunder, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Talladega Nights.
I would put. I love that movie so much, and I say shake
too.
and bake all the time.
Will Ferrell did a great job.
Were you in that movie?
I was.
Yeah, what'd you do in that movie?
I was talking to him, when he's walking through the garage.
That's right.
Yep.
You are so Talladega Nights.
It's so great.
So wait, no, that's only 2 though.
Yeah, it's so great because I'll be opening the mail, and here comes a check.
He does.
$1.85. They show Talladega Nights at 3 a.m, and I get the whole $1.85. They pay you every time they show that if you're in the movie.
Everything. What's
every
the
time.
most? What's the most you've gotten for royalties?
Probably
on that?
$12.
Right. So that's a case of beer. That's not bad for 2.
Yeah.
So depending on what you drink.
And I think I've actually gotten a check for like 20 cents.
They got to make sure you
They
paid.
got to
Greg.
They got to make
They
sure.
were like, Greg, he only ran 1 NASCAR race last year.
Yeah.
We got guys, send him the check.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's funny.
20 cents. Did you cash the 20-cent check?
I guess. I don't know. I may have framed it.
Yeah, I would definitely frame. But that's only 2. So you said Talladega Nights.
Well, how many are there?
Racing movies? I mean, there's Stroker Ace.
Oh, hell yeah.
That
I
was
like
on
that
there.
movie.
And then there's the Pixar Cars movie.
Well, I've seen that.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Were you in
It's
that
not
one?
really around NASCAR much, but.
The Pixar Cars movie?
Oh, yeah, that one is. But
that one's a lot of NASCAR.
I was thinking.
What do you think it was?
I'm thinking that what's the damn plane? I went and watched it with my daughter.
It's all planes.
Yeah. But
what's the damn planes movie?
I was
Flames.
thinking of those and some of the other stuff.
Yeah, but so is that your order? I mean, would you put it on there, or is that just because we can't think of other racing movies right
I
now?
can't think of a lot of other racing movies.
What are some other race movies that we're missing? So we've got the Last American Hero.
Oh yeah,
the Jimmy Johnson movie.
Yeah,
that one we got to put on there.
Yeah, we got to put that on there.
I would put Cars on mine.
Yeah, Ford versus Ferrari.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's totally NASCAR.
So, producer's saying Fast and the Furious. Is it a racing movie, or is that just a Vin Diesel
I don't know.
talk about family?
I can tell you what,
all
I
the
only
time?
know 2 racing movies, and that's Days of Thunder and Talladega Nights.
Kirby Fully Loaded. Does that one count?
Yeah, those are race movies.
All right, so his Mount Racemore of movies. You like that? His Mount Racemore of movies is going to be the first one is Talladega Nights.
Yep.
Then we're going to have this one is Days of Thunder.
Yes.
And I think Talladega Nights because you're in it.
Yep.
So Days of Thunder. I'm going to say Pixar, the Cars movie, and then
Planes. That's my 4.
And then Planes. Which,
my 4.
Can you imagine trying to come up with a name for a movie?
Yeah.
And then just be
What
like,
about go through Radiator Springs and
That was such a cute movie though.
It was.
It was so good. So we had another fan question that just came in that my producer's given me. So how true is it, Greg, that a driver will lose weight during a race? How true is that one?
Well, if anybody's ever gone to the bathroom before, you know you're going to lose weight. So
Man,
it's kind of laws of physics. So,
all right, I'll leave it alone.
But anyway, yes. So you do lose, the weight that you sweat out.
Right.
So, think about a hot day when you're out, playing soccer or football or something, or working in the yard, and you've sweat your ass off all day, and your clothes
more
are
driving a race car.
clothes are soaking wet top to bottom. In the morning, if you would have went and got on the scale and then went and got on the scale after all that, you probably sweat out, half a gallon or a gallon of water, which is, a gallon of water weighs 8.6 pounds. So, and you're burning calories and all those other things. So not just water weight, but you're burning calories. So we do lose weight.
How did you know so immediately how much a gallon of water weighs?
Well, just because I'm pretty much like an engineer and scientist and all that, all put together.
Is that the
and a race car driver?
I'm something of a scientist myself.
Yes.
All the Spider-Man.
How much does fuel weigh per gallon?
How much is fuel weigh per gallon? I don't know.
Okay.
Greg.
It's less than water.
I'm this Twitter guy.
Okay.
That is, I tweet for a living.
Okay.
I don't know. That impressed me a lot.
It.
So keep sending in your questions, fans, because right now, as you see, that's basically all we got is answering your fan questions.
It's getting dry, but the sun's starting to go down too.
Well, luckily, you have that awesome Stars and Stripes Daytona hoodie.
That
CJ picked out exactly, just perfectly for Greg. And I bet if you go to like NASCAR.com,
you could they're probably going to sell out when people see it.
It's because
because
you have it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep that one.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say this is one of these days they'll put it in the Hall of Fame. This is the hoodie.
Right. The one I wore on the set
that Greg Biffle wore during
the 62nd running of the Daytona 500.
That took 7 hours because CJ kept jinxing it because he really wanted to host this cool show because it's the first one I've done. Can you guys tell that yet?
I got to drive all the way back home tonight too.
You're driving back home?
Yeah, I'm driving.
Is it because you got the motorhome down
Well, I'm on a budget.
Oh.
So I'm driving.
All right. Well, man, I tell you, that sounds like content to me.
It
do
does.
You have a passenger?
No. You want to ride with me?
That might have to happen.
Okay.
And we'll Instagram. We will make that part of our Instagram coverage.
Well, Instagrams, yeah.
Instagram story, the drive back after the live.
After the watch party. We could
Man,
probably start
my
heading.
wife is going to be very mad at me, Greg.
We could probably start heading back now.
No.
And we could do the show from the truck.
Let me see if my wife is freaking out because
you know what I mean?
I was going to drive
so,
instead of flying. Because
right.
I got to ask permission to do that. Because they bought me a ticket, man.
Okay.
Like right over there. But I might have to do that.
Maybe you could get a refund.
That sounds
Then we could stop
fun.
for a meal. Like at, Cracker Barrel or, Upgrade to Outback or something.
Dude, man, if you're driving, though, if it's a road trip, you got to do Waffle House. So
That's
we had another
right.
question come in.
Waffle House is good. You know, they only have one waffle there at Waffle House.
I mean, total or on the menu?
Well, I don't know. I went there one time with my ex-wife, and she said, I don't know why we come to this stupid place or why they call it Waffle House. She said they only have one waffle here.
The waffle. But, I mean,
I said it's Waffle House.
I think stuff, dude, like, stop messing with the waffle, man.
Right.
Putting pecans in it and whipped cream. You know what I want on my waffle? Syrup.
Me too. But don't forget the butter. Little
No,
butter.
man, I didn't know.
Little syrup. Just syrup only?
I am syrup, and like when I was a
How
kid.
do we get to waffles when we're at the Daytona Speedway?
We're talking about what we're going to eat
the
on
road
our
trip.
way back.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right. It's looking pretty good. It's kind of cooling off. It's getting damp, which is not good because that means it doesn't like to dry out very fast. So.
Yeah, I think
It's
waffles
getting windy.
should be it. All right, so the next question that we had come in was, which of your 2 trucks wins of the last in Texas was more special?
Probably the. Well, I won the championship when I was in Texas because I had secured enough points, but I didn't win that night. But I would have to say this last win was probably more special than the early win because I'd been out of the car for 2.5 years. My daughter was there. My family was there. A lot of friends, and it was kind of a comeback. You know, first time driving for Kyle. You know, all those things. And you got to remember, none of his other guys had won in his trucks. So, then they only had one other win that season, last season, and that was in Martinsville, right? A couple races to go. So I felt good about that. It was an accomplishment, achievement, and got back in the car. So,
I still think that is the most epic comeback in this. Fans, we need a vote. Is Greg Biffle's win in 2019? Is that the most epic NASCAR comeback of the modern era? I think it might be. I can't think. Can you think of any other really awesome just NASCAR comebacks?
I don't know a lot of.
Not good.
I don't know. Can't think of a lot of. I'm not a great stats person, but I can't really think of anybody coming back after a couple of years and winning the first time back. So.
Well, certainly not doing that, but I mean just comebacks in general. But I think you're now.
So you're saying I got a chance.
You're the NASCAR comeback king.
Okay.
But now if you do another comeback.
And I don't win. What if I do another comeback and I'm like 4 laps down and like hit everything that's out on the track, including the pace car? Then what?
Stuart wants to know. I wanted to save this for when we went back out.
Can we say I have a 50-50 record?
Stuart wants to know if you're going to be making any more truck starts in 2020.
I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah?
It's a possibility.
Is it like you said? Is it 50-50 or is it better than that?
I don't know. It could be a little better than 50-50.
Oh, I like it.
But still don't know yet. So.
Do you think Bob Pockers is watching this right now?
He probably knows. You could probably just ask him.
Just ask Bob what your schedule is.
Yes.
Hang on.
He's got it. Text him.
I hope if he's watching this right now that he's like, Greg Biffle says that it's a good possibility that he'll be making trucks in 2020. And you heard that good possibility right here, NASCAR fans.
You heard it first.
So if you, let's say hypothetically, okay, because right now, we've got to keep going until the track's dry.
That's going to be a long time.
Hypothetically, if you were going to make a truck start or a couple truck starts in 2020, where would you want them to be? Which tracks?
I really like racing Charlotte. That's a fun track.
Home, man.
And it's home. And so I don't have to go very far from the house. It's just right.
Is that the old man Biffle?
It's just the other side of town.
Say, I owed you one from earlier.
Right. Texas,
so,
I had to go.
I don't want to go far from the house.
Texas, I had to go all the way down there.
Yeah.
It's a long ways.
We could make that a road trip too.
Yes.
If you end up doing another trucks race in Texas, And you
I think I'm going to fly.
And you drive down.
Yeah.
Well, no. If I drive back now, like from Daytona, when I have a plane ticket, if I ride back with you, keep you company, and we stop at Waffle House, and we'll let Fox provide the waffles for the road trip.
Oh, yeah.
Can we do another road trip if you get a truck start, and we'll make content out of that too?
Yeah, we could road trip from my house to Concord to Charlotte.
Guys, welcome to our road trip.
Yeah, it's going to be about 40 minutes. So we're going to be at the track.
I like it.
Yeah, but we'll probably be flying to Texas. Texas is a big state.
Well, yeah.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
It's a long drive.
Yes.
From how long of a drive would that be from
I don't know.
Concord to Texas? Guys, help us out.
It's
hang on. I mean, I
gotta be at least a day.
We're human beings, so we have. Hang on. Let me look. Let me Google Maps this. Keep everybody company while I look this up.
Google Maps. I'm gonna say it's going to be about 18 hours.
Fort Worth, Texas.
We taking bets? That was just
Concord,
a random,
North Carolina.
Completely random guess.
Let's see. Right? It says that if you were to drive it, it is 1,082 miles, 15 hours, and 48 minutes. It's not
15 hours, 48 minutes. So
not bad.
I was 3 hours off.
Don't you love how it has these other, and it's like, sometimes like 11
Oh, yeah. How many
minutes slower.
routes do you want to take?
I get these routes all the time, and it's like, you look and see, and it's a 12-hour drive, and it says, this is 2 minutes faster.
Right.
Thanks.
Right.
Thanks, Google.
That's right. Well, the track, by the way, the track is looking pretty good.
Yes.
It's completely dry here, so I don't know. The backstretch has actually started raining back there first, because you remember the caution came out, and we were up here, it was dry. So must have had more water back there than up here.
More oomph on it. Daniela sent us in a question, and she wanted to know, do you drive your boat like you drive your race car?
Sometimes.
Yeah?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm in a big hurry. Yep.
In the boat?
Yeah. Yeah, because I want to get back. I want to get to the fishing hole. Right?
Oh, I thought because I don't boat much.
Okay.
I really.
Yep.
Okay. Because here's
we'll
the thing.
put a life vest on you just in case.
I can swim. I promise.
Okay.
But here's the thing, man. You ever seen that show? What was it, like Freshwater Monsters or something?
Oh yeah.
Well,
we're not in fresh water, so that's a good thing. We're in salt water.
Well, no.
So
I mean,
just like tiger sharks.
In Concord, we would be.
Okay.
If you're at home.
Yeah, I don't fish much there.
Stuff can eat you in the lake, man.
Yeah.
Like the Loch Ness Monster. You know what loch means?
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
So to get you tied up.
Like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
But I come from out west, and you know what's out there? The big man on the land. Everybody tries to find.
Santa Claus?
Yeah. You got it.
Did I nail it?
Yep.
What is it actually, though?
Can't remember the name of him.
I think it's Santa. I couldn't think of it at all.
Oh, I'll think
much
of
less
it.
the name of it. We'll come back to that one.
Sasquatch.
Oh yeah, Bigfoot.
Yeah, Bigfoot. That's it. Damn it, Bigfoot. That's what I was trying to come up with. Bigfoot. He's from out my neck of the woods.
Really?
Yeah.
So is he real?
Yeah, I've seen him a few times.
Really?
Yeah. He just walks through the backyard, Everybody freaks out. Like, that's Bigfoot. I'm like, so?
I'm just letting this go.
Yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt that because I feel like those guys that say, like, they were on that show called Finding Sasquatch?
Yeah.
I used to love it.
Yeah, they asked me to come on there. I said, no, I'm not going to do that.
Breaking. But I loved the previews. It would always be like, tonight on Finding Bigfoot.
You'll never believe what happened.
They don't. Like, that was basically the show. Like, we make a show out of that.
Yeah.
Tonight on But
you want to get Justin out here to stand on a box so he can talk to you?
Greg Biffle knows.
See if there's apple box.
Are you breaking up with me?
Well, no. I mean, you got to get some new blood in here.
Okay, so we're going to find – he's been over there talking to that one fan.
Yes.
Basically this entire –
that fan knows what kind of underwear he wears right now.
What do you think? If you had to guess.
I don't have any idea, and I don't want to know.
Is it like boxers? Is he a boxers
probably.
guy? Tidy whities?
I don't think so.
No, you know.
I don't know.
I'll ask him. You want me to ask
Okay,
him?
you ask him.
All right. So we do have Justin coming up.
Yeah, see?
And so do we want to take a break and then come back and just swap? We'll just live swap it. I'm gonna take your headset.
Okay, here you go.
Watch this. We are very professional. And Justin, we were taking bets about what kind of underwear you wear.
What kind of underwear I wear? So I wear boxer briefs.
It was both.
I have to admit though that
You gotta find your headset.
yeah, I have to admit though that I've had a different. Right? It's okay. It happens. Noah has been laid out on the asphalt up here, taking a rest. He's had his sunglasses on and his hood up. He's been out here taking a rest on the pavement. I think it's been a long day. Is that right?
Yep. Long day. Still a lot of racing, and
how you feeling?
Got a long drive home.
We're talking about you, not the race. We're talking about you. How you feeling?
I am tired, worn out, and
there's a lot of emotion. So I think sometimes it's hard for our fans to understand that there's a lot of emotions that go through when you win your first race.
A ton.
Not a liquid that goes through too, but a lot of emotions that go through, and it makes for an interesting day after.
It very interesting, and probably not the ideal way to feel today, but you live and you learn, and we're at the World Center of Racing, having some fun, and yeah, place is pretty cool.
So I've been lucky enough to win at a few different racetracks, but I've never won a Daytona. Never. So what's the emotion? What was going through your mind yesterday when you crossed the finish line? Real quick, because the fans at home need to understand the amount of time and effort and energy that you've put into this. We've had a lot of conversations. You've had a lot of conversations with other drivers and with other people to try to make sure that this is a reality for you. So
it's just it's relieving. You go. I think they said 37 races, and I almost won my first ever career Xfinity race. I finished second, and right on the bumper of Christopher Bell, and then to go 37 races I think it was without a win. It was challenging, and you never know okay, if I'm ever going to be able to win. And then put in a lot of hard work coming down here to just on drafting and with the team, everything that's gone into it. It's really special for me.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, you post all the time about being at pit stop practice, and you're always at the shop, and those are all things that I think we don't get a lot of time. At the end of the day, when we look at when we're at the racetrack, practice is practice. We don't get a lot of time to really learn what's going to make our cars faster, right? I mean, we ran. I think we ran 8 or 10 laps in practice, and then we didn't run the second practice. You ran 2 laps by yourself.
Yeah, 2 laps.
Yeah, and so the details of the pit stop practice and going to the shop and talking to the guys and like you said, learning about drafting, watching replays of races in the past. It's a big deal. It's a big difference.
Yeah, and it's crazy the amount of effort that not only us two, but I feel like I wouldn't say everyone, but most people put into racing, especially the Cup guys. They're the real deal, and so it's a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of people who make sacrifices to allow us to go out on the racetrack, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, I mean the families that are sacrificed for us to be able to go to the racetrack. I mean, you think about the hours that our guys work in the shop. That's pretty crazy. Speaking of families, how big's the party going to be when you get to Vegas? I mean, because we go to Vegas next.
Yeah, it's
right?
going to be it'll be cool. I was thinking about that. I was laying on the ground over there taking a nap and thinking, I was like, man, it's going to be cool going to Vegas next week, and just my hometown. It's Vegas, so it's a pretty cool place. I mean, I don't know how other people feel about going to Vegas, but I feel like it's pretty cool because it's my hometown. I'm sure you feel that way when you go to Chicago.
Chicagoland, yeah. I hate Vegas, by the way.
Like,
for some reason, it always costs me a lot of money to go to Vegas.
Yeah. Well, do you gamble?
I don't anymore.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't anymore. But it is home. Like there's no place better than home. Like there's no comparison to going to racing at home and being a part of that home race. I mean, I've been lucky enough to win at Chicagoland. I know you'd love to win at Vegas. Like I mean, especially backing it up from Daytona, like that would be cool. But the only other thing though is I'd kind of like to push you off this grandstand right now. Because now you don't have to worry about the playoffs for the rest of the year. Like, until we get to the playoffs. I'm disappointed in that. Last year, I pushed Michael to the win and then was like, dang. Like, now I gotta worry about the playoffs for the rest of the year, and he doesn't have to. So,
it's
is that good or bad?
It's good. It's good to have, I guess, really just the 5 playoff points. I think those are very, very valuable. I think it's loud as shit, or loud is very loud. And, yeah, so it's a great feeling knowing that it's the first race of the year and we're locked in. We're going to be able to be very aggressive on our strategies, I feel like, for the rest of this year. And like I said, just super, super. Well, yeah, we are.
I mean, Dave, Dave Ellens, Noah's crew chief, is always super aggressive on strategies anyways. And car-wise, too. I feel like when we look at the setups, we look at the setups of our cars post practice every week, and a lot of times, like, your car is the most aggressive. Typically, like, you're the guy that's pushing on the loose side or on the tight side or whatever it is. I feel like that's pretty common for you guys. So, now I'm not even sure what to expect. Like, we're gonna show up at Vegas and be like, yeah, we're just gonna be like 27% looser than you guys and just go see what we can throw down.
Yeah, there's a lot of. My crew chief Dave, you know how he is. He's pretty wild. So, yeah, overall fun weekend. I hate to leave you, but
are you out of here?
I am.
You're leaving?
I'm taking off. Thank you to everybody at Fox and NASCAR for allowing me to be a part of a long 20 laps here at Daytona.
This might be the longest 20 laps ever at Daytona.
It is. It's a wild, but. Long race, and appreciate all the fans for tuning into this and sticking out here at the racetrack. There's a lot of people here, and quite
it's
the
still
privilege
packed.
To be able
like
to see.
I know that they may not be able to see it on the broadcast here, but this place is still packed. For as crazy as the weather's been, I mean, inside here, looking inside the I don't know what do you call this thing in here? The underpass. I don't know.
Awning.
Whatever this is, out here in the grandstands. Oh, hang on. Coming back. Hang on. We're all jammed up here. All right. We doing good here?
There we go.
All right.
CJ's on here. Are we still live?
We're still live.
Look at that. I do.
Noah's leaving us, but we're still live.
So we were back. I had to go. I grabbed. You want Starburst?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. So we had a Twitter question come in just a few moments ago. You guys keep sending them in. Hashtag Ask
Please,
the
yes.
Drivers. But they were just asking about your day yesterday.
Yep.
So, how it started. You guys were strong early. You won a stage.
We won stage 2. And it was cool because Junior Motorsports actually kind of swept if we'd have qualified on the pole, my teammate Michael Annette qualified second. If we'd have gotten the pole, it would have literally been all 4 of us winning everything there was to win. It was pretty impressive. But well, that is true. You did get first practice. None of us went though. You were the only guy holding on to that opportunity, and you let us down. But the day yesterday was interesting because you come to Daytona and obviously first race of the year. There's a lot going on. You got media obligations, and you've got sponsor obligations, and you've got track and NASCAR obligations. Qualifying was pretty early in the morning. I shouldn't say early in the morning. I think we had 3 opportunities to go hang out with some people sponsor wise before qualifying, and then qualifying happened, and then just all these little details that kind of play into it, and so I was pumped up because I knew our car was fast, and everybody was excited about the day, and all of our our partners had a ton of guests here. We had a bunch of social influencers here from Suave Men, which was cool because, you look at what's going on socially. I mean, obviously we're broadcasting socially, and to watch some of those guys and gals that came, they were pumped up to be here, and they were creating content for when they go home and they're going to upload to, whether it be Facebook or YouTube or whatever it is. And then, we started our 10th season with Brant, Professional Agriculture, yesterday. So they had a bunch of people here, and it was really neat. But then once we got down to the race, this place it never fails to amaze. Like we were standing down on pit road and doing kind of the, post-driver intros, doing all of our photos with everybody, and you literally couldn't have added 10 more people to the area around the car. It was just completely packed house, and just to watch all of that and to get the race started was big. And the first stage was okay. We finished 1, 2, 3, 4 as a company, which is cool. And then second stage was obviously really good, and was able to hold off the guys for the lead there and win the second stage. And then for the finale, I look back on that wreck and it makes my head hurt.
Yeah.
A lot of circumstances that led to that. Some of which I wish I had done some things differently, but really, honestly, everything happens in a split second, and it's really out of your control when you're in those moments. So I was pretty bummed, but it's just how it goes. That's the unfortunate part about racing in a Super Speedway. As much as I love it, and as much as Noah enjoyed winning,
right.
We were on the opposite end of that, and we go, man, we had a fast race car, we did all the right things, and we literally have nothing to show for it. So that was pretty disappointing.
Well, I mean, of course, the stage win is that could turn out to be very handy later on at the end of the
that bonus that point that we gained was huge. Noah obviously got 5 for the win yesterday.
Right.
But
I think you should get bonus points as you're sticking around to hang out with us.
Right.
Noah will split those with you now.
Yeah,
right?
now he's got to split them with me. I don't know. I think it's interesting because last year for us, it came down to stage wins, right? It came down to the win the week before Homestead and going into Phoenix, having those bonus points. Like that's the difference maker whether we made the Final Four or not. And I do believe in my mind that this year's going to be the same way. Not just in the Xfinity Series, the Truck Series, the Cup Series. I mean, you look at the way that these races kind of go and how important these points are. It's incredible. And people say, oh, it's just 1 point. Well, listen, 1 point. Every race for 33 races is 33 points. I'll promise you 33 points will make a big difference on how things go at the end of the year. So I think it's super important to have those points and be in those right positions at all times.
Well, I know it didn't end the way you wanted it to, but I noticed you out there on track. Like I was watching. We watched the entire field.
You can't miss my car. It's
no,
fluorescent
it wasn't
red.
bad.
It looks like a fireball out there.
No, you were fast yesterday, you guys. It was a good solid. I know everybody wrecks at Daytona sometimes, so you had a good day.
I just feel like I wreck more often than I should. How about that?
We did have a fan question come in that wanted to know how much do you eat and drink, and some of it snacking, maybe some of it just hydrating during a rain delay. Like, what do you kind of do as far as eating and drinking?
This is the worst scenario ever, right? Because you've hydrated, you've eaten based on you're going to get in that car and you're going to race, right? So at 2:30 when that race went green, it ended up being almost close to the 3 because of the present here, but when you get in that car, you're prepared for 500 miles, or in our case, 300 miles. And when you get a rain delay, the first thing you do when you get out is you go pee. Even though you don't have to, like car, you're sweating and you're like, oh, I'm good. As soon as you get out, you're like, oh, I got to go pee. And you're like, well, I better drink something. So then you start drinking, and then now I'm hungry, so you better go find some food. And then you literally graze the hauler, and you've eaten all the food on the hauler. Then you go to, whatever, you go to the concession stand, whatever it is, you're trying to find food and something to drink, and you just kind of become miserable because then you just don't feel good. Like you're in anticipation of waiting. Your adrenaline's already kind of started pumping for the start of the race. So, I don't know how the adrenal glands work. I've never really studied it. I probably should at some point. Mine are typically pretty high. I'm going to say you and I are a lot alike in that. It doesn't take much for your adrenaline to kind of spike. But when your adrenaline spikes and then goes away and you calm back down, it's really hard to get going again. It's really hard to get your body to kind of fire back up because, when your adrenaline goes up like that and comes back down, you kind of crash a little bit and you get tired. I mean, I know post-race for us, if you won, it's great. Your adrenaline's so pumping. But when you've had kind of okay day or a not so good day, you're ready to go to sleep right there. Like I could fall asleep in the rental car driving to the airport darn near every week. And so it's hard. Trying to get yourself pumped back up and go and do this again is really difficult. But I think that's what makes a good racer separate himself from an average racer. And there's going to be guys who are going to get back in their cars and they're going to be ready to go and they're going to be fired up. The problem lies in when we do going again. Okay, who's ready to go and who's not? Because if a guy makes a mistake and crashes somebody else that makes a move on somebody that's not expecting it and he crashes them, that's when it's really bad. But I switched a lot of my stuff. I switched all of my my intake before the race. I changed how I'm prepping. I switched to a different product. I switched to a company called Arma Sport that I'm taking their kind of pre, during, and post workout drink, right? And it's a great way for me to stay hydrated kind of before and during and then after. And a lot of drivers have found like their little niche of like, okay, what works for me? Some it's a 24 pack of Bud Light or Busch Light or whatever brand is on their car, right?
These guys are
down here. They're I've always been told if you're going to drink all day, you got to start early.
Right.
And there's a few that have started early and they've muscled through it, and I'm impressed.
I feel like we're catching them sort of as they're ending their drinking. Like it can't keep going much longer.
Oh no, hang on, it can, and it can, and it will. I actually I took my in-laws to the airport this morning at about 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And for those of you that have been in the infield here, there's a section of infield where there's campers that on Friday night and Saturday night they party and they party hard and they have a good time, and it's fun to watch. Well, I drove out this morning about 5 a.m. I was coming back inside after dropping them off, and there's a gentleman sitting under the canopy of his motorhome. He's leaned over against his chair. Cowboy boots were on, over top the jeans. T-shirt was half off, and the beer was about right here. And he never spilled the beer all night, and I am impressed. So if you are a professional drinker and you do not spill your beer when you pass out all night, my hat's off to you. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, that's incredible. But there was another fan question that came in. You know these guys, right?
Yep.
A lot of these guys down here, you hang out with them, you see how they react to situations. They want to know which driver down there do you think is going to be the best at bouncing back after this weird up and down adrenaline rush here at Daytona?
Well, I think it's going to be interesting because
it's a good question.
I think it is a great question. I think it's going to be interesting because we're only 20 laps in, right? And we had already seen the field kind of single file out and get to the top, and they knew that 500 miles was going to be a long race, right? And we got to get that in that rhythm and get some laps burned off before we start getting crazy. We're still a long ways from a stage end. We still got 40 laps to the end of stage one. We still got 100 laps to the end of stage two. So I look at the top. I guess I look at like the top 7, 8 all the way back to Jimmy. You got guys, and any of those guys right there, have enough experience. They've been here long enough. They understand what they got going. With the exception of maybe Willie B, but Willie's done a great job. Willie's as calm as a cucumber, right? Like, I mean, I don't even know how he does what he does. He's just flatline. He's pretty calm. So I don't feel like there's anybody in that first 6 or 7 that aren't going to know what's at stake, right? They've all been in this situation. Darn near have won. I think everybody in that top 7 or so has won a Cup Series race, a couple of which have won here at Daytona. So I don't really feel like there's anybody at the front that surprises me. There's a few guys maybe towards the middle of the back that will be interesting to see. You've got 3 guys that moved up from our series, the Xfinity Series last year. You got Cole Custer, Tyler Reddick, and Christopher Bell. They're all really fast, and they got really good cars. So what do they do? Do they get aggressive early and they try to keep the momentum that they had from the end of last year and keep pushing that, or do they just say, hey, you know what, we're in this for the long haul. We know that we got to learn. We got to walk, crawl before we can walk, and do they just kind of stick around in the back? I don't know. Well, they're not really in the back; they're in the middle. But you know what I'm saying.
Right. And not to completely derail the conversation, but do you see what I see right now going on behind us?
I do. I see cars getting uncovered, which is good. My only fear is that my head is getting sprinkled with the rain. So I'm not super excited about that. But anytime they remove the car covers, it's a good thing. It's a really good thing. So I don't know. We got some posters up here. We need to like.
Yeah, I think we are going to go back to just give you guys a quick overview of where we are as far as track drying goes. You were watching along a little bit ago, so going to send it back to our aerial view for just a little bit. We're going to hopefully get settled here. Hopefully this very, very light rain that we've got going on. It's definitely not like it was earlier. We're going to see if this moves out. Car cover's coming off. Send it back to the air. And we will get all settled back and ready to go right here for the Daytona 500 watch party. Do not go anywhere. The 62nd annual Great American Race continues on Fox.